And let's make no mistake about it.
Tom, you ready to go up on stage right now? What are you going to tell these people?
Government that's holding us back from us there. It is them that's
Awesome, I love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you why we are here. We are here at this Tea Party because we believe in fiscal responsibility from our elected officials. We believe in constitutionally limited government. And we believe in free markets. That's it. That's our message. It's all over the signs. And next, I am proud to introduce to you Tom Del Becarro. Many of you know Tom because you've heard he's on the radio 400 times a year getting out the conservative message. He's on TV 100 times a year getting out our message. He's the author of The New Conservative Paradigm. He is running unopposed to be the chairman of the California Republican Party. Tom wants to make sure that you make your way over sometime to the KSFO booth to sign the petitions to suspend AB 32. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Del Becarro.
How are ya? Come on, how are ya? I am here today to discuss why Nancy Pelosi is going to be out of Congress within the next 2 years, if not November. I'm here to talk about why Barbara Box is going to lose this fall. I want to talk about why Harry Reid's going to retirement. And I want to talk about how we're going to take this country back. Now listen, I want to talk about some national politics, but I also need to do a very special message to you about Prop 14, which is on the June 8th ballot. But let's talk about some of these national things, and I want to give you a couple of facts and figures on why we're going to do well this fall if. And the if is a really big deal. So let's just give you a couple of facts and figures. 3 times in the television era, 3 times, the president's party has lost seats when his approval rating's been below 50%. Do you know how many seats on average they've lost? 41, when the president is below 50%. Who can tell me where Obama is right now? 44, 45, and it's getting colder where his numbers are going. Now let me tell you, one of those times had to do with the Ford pardon, so we'll throw that out. That gives you Lyndon Johnson in 66, Clinton in 94. And the average loss for those 2 guys was 51 seats with an approval rating below 50. How many seats do we need to take back the Congress? 42. Now Obama's at 44. The other thing you need to realize is no president in the television era, not in the television era, the last 40 years, not one of them has improved their approval rating in the midterm election year, not one. So that tells you that right now Barack Obama and the Democrats are in trouble. Now how did Johnson, who had an economy growing 6%, lose so many seats? How did Bill Clinton, who had 5 million new jobs in the 2 years prior to that midterm, 5 million new jobs, how did he lose 54 seats? The way they lost seats was breaking faith with America. Johnson picked fights with America on Vietnam. He instituted the Great Society, a huge spending bill. Sound familiar? And of course, it was a struggle over civil rights. So even though his economy was growing at over 6%, he lost those seats because he picked fights with America. Bill Clinton, the economy was growing over 3%, 5 million new jobs, but he lied to you on taxes. Remember there was going to be a middle-class tax cut, and it was a tax hike for everybody. So what does that tell you? You can have a good economy, but if you break faith with America, you are going to lose seats in the House of Representatives, 51 combined for those 2 guys, or at least the average. Now, where's Barack Obama? He has done nothing but pick fights with America. The most ridiculous stimulus spending bill, creating the biggest deficit in American history, fight number one.
He's not even an American.
Fight number two. Fight number two is cap and trade, sorry. Fight number three, the unconstitutional health care bill. Fight number four, civilian terror trials in New York. Fight number five, nationalizing the bank system or something like that. And fight number six is coming this summer when he puts in a left-leaning, non-constitutional following Supreme Court justice. Now, are you going to let that happen? No. So here's the if. And this is the if. They're facing us. Normally what happens on election day is that the media back east falsely reports the exit polls. Or at least somehow every year they came out too far on the left. And what happens to us is that we get discouraged and drive home between 5 and 8. I'm here tonight to tell you that Barbara Boxer's going to lose her seat. She's going to lose her seat between 5 and 8 p.m. Because here's how it goes. All year long, the Democrats are going to hear about how poorly they're doing, all year. And then what happens? On election day, returns are going to start coming back from the East. And those returns are going to show that they're losing seats they haven't lost in years. They can lose up to 50 to 60 seats. Now let me tell you how this goes. When those returns come back, we are going to hear about it. And the Democrats who were discouraged all year long will hang their heads. Many of them will drive home between 5 and 8 p.m. But you cannot. The if is we have to realize, like a good sprinter, that we're running through the tape. We are going to work our hardest between 5 and 8 p.m. We are going to get every vote out to defeat Boxer, to defeat Pelosi, to defeat Reid, and send Republicans to Washington who understand fiscal responsibility. And in the process, Madam Pelosi will be retired as Speaker of the House.